It's okay.
Hold it back.
It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. That's real men stuff right there. Real men stuff.
No, man, because you don't know how this shit came together. You said you dropped the whisper on me that he called.
Calvin Ford, in all humility, has broken down in tears while talking about the right between him and Gervonta Davis that eventually led to him exiting from Gervonta Davis's team. He graced an interview where he was asked deep questions about the whole situation.
You know what I'm saying? Tank does that, you know, to get an eyebrow out of people. Like, you know how the Rock, when he put the eyebrow up, and he did get it. That's just like when they...
Well, you truly don't listen to just a side of the story. However, if all that was said was true, then Gervonta Davis must be something entirely different from the amazing boxer Gervonta Davis knew him as. Calvin Ford went ahead to talk about the happenings between them. He then spoke about the sacrifices he made for Gervonta Davis's and how he's been with him to fulfill his son's wish of watching over him for the rest of his career.
Oh, everything just happened. Y'all get what I'm saying? And that's all I got to do. Everything that we want and want to do is already given to us if we just concentrate on it.
That's facts. Bigger than box. Yes, sir.
He said, I've done it all, and if he thinks this is what's best for me, then it's good. It's more surprising how silent Tank Davis has been on this matter. What he'll surely claim is that he's focused and locked in on his fight. But an issue as serious as this isn't one anyone keeps quiet about. He's bent on going on with his fight, and now in his corner is former boxing trainer Derrick James.
You that flipped the coin.
Yes, it was Steve that name that came up.
Yeah,
but then when you look at the numbers that they putting out, it don't make sense.
However, with reports of Gervonta Davis, Lamont Roach Jr. being pushed back to a different date surfacing, the Reaper talked about how long the fight has been at work. Initially, Tank's choice of Roach over Edwin de los Santos for the mandatory title defense shocked every fan. To make up for the lack of excitement for the fight, PBC added several sensational matches to the undercard, including David Benavidez, the return of Jermall Charlo, and a rematch between Stephen Fulton and Brandon Figueroa.
No, but I've been in the Tank sweepstakes 2 years ago. A fighter's biggest payday around our weight class is going to be against Tank. Yeah, that's what they call it, the Canelo sweep.
But according to Roach, his match against Davis might not be as random and immediate as fans are thinking. In a sit-down interview on the Bag Fuel YouTube channel, the 29-year-old revealed how this fight has been in the works for 2 years now. As soon as the interview started, Heineken asked Roach about the fight against Gervonta Davis and how it happened.
A lot of them said that. And I want him to have that attitude because, again, I know what's under the hood with him. He's forward built tough.
The World Boxing Association's super featherweight champion immediately addressed the question and accepted the fact that fans were not happy with the match. He further added that most of those people who are against the match don't know anything about boxing. The Reaper then further revealed that I've been in the Tank sweepstakes 2 years ago, stating that I got a call from them PBC 2 years ago regarding the fight. This particular call happened after Tank's match against Rolando Romero as the promotion was searching for a fighter in Washington, D.C.
Sweepstakes, obviously, when you fight Canelo, you're going to get a bag. The Tank sweepstakes, obviously, you fight Tank, you're going to get a bag. I got a call from them 2 years ago before he fought Hector Garcia. I wasn't champ at the time, and Hector...
He explained how the PBC wanted him to be the opponent for Davis and asked whether Roach was ready or not. According to Roach, he agreed to the fight, but the talks broke down because I wasn't champ at the time and Hector was a champ, so they fought Hector, implying how the PBC ultimately went with Hector Luis Garcia.
I'm gonna take the fight. I'm old school. If I really think I'm gonna beat somebody, take the money and run with it. Let's fight. If you notice, when we fought for Floyd now, we took every fight they threw at.
The matchup surprised him, as he was the mandatory challenger for Garcia's World Boxing Association super featherweight champion. And even though Garcia did not do the mandatory challenge, Roach respects him for the business decision. He didn't do a voluntary defense. I was the mandatory and he used his same "I'm doing the same thing," stated Roach, implying how he is also making decisions based on a business perspective.
There was a champ, and I was the mandatory. That's crazy. I was the mandatory for Hector. He used his same words. I'm doing air quotes. I'm doing the same thing.
While the January 1st 25 boxer seems motivated to prove his doubters wrong, the clouds of uncertainty still loom over the fight. Several reports came out indicating a delay in the fight, But a few days ago, Gervonta Davis finally broke his silence regarding the issue. Gervonta Davis not ready to change dates. A recent report from Boxing Scene suggested that Tank's camp had confirmed the possibility of shifting the date of the bout to a later date. The original PPV is rather closer to the Tyson Fury versus Alexander Usyk Riyadh season rematch. The report further stated that the Davis-Roach match is now being eyed for January 25th as a co-main event of the potential David Benavidez versus David Morrell fight. The WBA lightweight champion himself addressed the situation as he took to his X account and wrote "cap" on the report, stating that it might not be true. With just one word, Gervonta Davis silenced all the reports and indicated that his date wouldn't change.
Hector used his special privilege to fight Tank instead of me, so I had to wait.
Because he didn't want to lose to you, so if I'm going to lose, I'm going to fight Tank.
I get the
Because
payday,
if I
he's
lose to
still
the
a champ,
champ,
he's
ain't no
still
payday. I'm still
champ.
the champ, and I can still keep on going and fight. That's a business decision.
The fight not getting pushed back is a piece of good news for both Davis and Lamont Roach Jr., who is hell-bent on proving everyone wrong. After all, this is a fight that he has been targeting for 2 years now, and now that he has finally received it, he won't let it go easily. Gervonta Davis has drawn the ire of a good amount of boxing fans in 2024. Despite saddling up for a mega fight against Ryan Garcia in 2023, Tank took a step back in his age 30 year in the eyes of many. His decision to fight Frank Martin over the summer wasn't met with much excitement, although Davis delivered with a scintillating KO. Boxing fans excused it though, expecting Davis to follow it up with another big fight for his next event. Instead, Davis announced that he would be fighting Lamont Roach Jr. in December. Roach is a fine fighter, but not a big name by any means.
Like, this gonna be fight of the year type caliber fight, because obviously I'm not coming in there scared. I ain't coming in there to lay down. I ain't coming in there on.
Boxing purists were clamoring for a Davis bout against Vasily Lomachenko, which seemed highly possible, but the Ukrainian opted against it, at least for now. While Loma was the one who didn't try hard to make it happen this time, there are some who believe Davis waited until Lomachenko got old before even giving him a chance. An anonymous boxing official spoke to Boxing Scene recently and called out Davis for ducking Lomachenko until the very last minute. If Loma retires, there's a part of me that'll be happy he didn't fight Tank. It was kind of a B** teach move by Tank to refuse to fight Loma for so long and then cherry pick him at 36, almost 37. It's like Lomachenko saying, "No, you had your chance." Lomachenko is still elite, evidenced by his TKO title win over George Kambosos Jr. in May, but he doesn't have the quickness or power that made him among the most dangerous boxers earlier in his career.
None of that. I'm coming in there to do what I gotta do to get my hand raised. So, when you say that,
I like Lamont, man. Lamont sound like he ready. And this do sound like it's gonna be a big fight. I think people gotta give him a lot.
Bob Arum's promotional company offers an intriguing immediate rematch as its main event Saturday night in Verona, New York, when former WBC super featherweight champion Oshaki Foster attempts to regain his title from Robson Conceição. The 2016 Olympic gold medalist from Brazil defeated Foster by split decision July 6th in Newark, New Jersey, where Foster feels he was wronged because he deserved to win 10 rounds of a 12-round, 130-pound championship bout broadcasted by ESPN. Conceição instead edged Foster of Orange, Texas on 2 scorecards and left the ring at Prudential Center the winner for the first time in 4 world title bouts. ESPN Plus will stream Conceição Foster 2 from Turning Stone Resort Casino sometime around 11 p.m. ET. As much as hardcore boxing fans figured to consume this second bout between Conceição and Foster, it was not the main event Arum's Top Rank Inc. initially planned for Saturday night.
Calvin, assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum salam, what's going on?
How you feeling?
Man, okay, okay.
The face of boxing, Gervonta Tank Davis, just been...
Uncrowned has learned that there was a point early in the summer when top-rank executives and representatives for Al Haymon's premier boxing champions came close to finalizing a deal for Gervonta Tank Davis to finally fight Vasily Lomachenko in what would have been one of the highest-profile boxing matches of 2024. Baltimore's Davis has long been criticized for not facing the Ukrainian southpaw, but one of boxing's biggest stars was completely committed to battling Lomachenko in what would have been a 12-round lightweight title unification fight. It wasn't until Lomachenko informed Top Rank's executives that he wasn't interested in fighting Davis or anyone else before the end of this year that negotiations ceased. Top Rank was authorized to explore the showdown with Davis by Lomachenko's longtime manager, Aegis Klimas. But Lomachenko ultimately wanted more time to decide if, not when, he will continue his Hall of Fame career in 2025. Had Lomachenko signed off on the deal, he and Davis likely would have fought this Saturday night at MGM Grand Garden Arena in Las Vegas. Their pay-per-view bout would have been co-distributed by ESPN and Amazon's Prime Video.
And released to the public, we know now, December 14th, Houston, Texas, he's going to be facing a very tough opponent in Lamont Roach.
ESPN preferred November 2nd over November 9th, the other date discussed for Davis Lomachenko, because the basic cable conglomerate would have been able to promote its fight more comprehensively this week than next week because of its loaded college football schedule on November 9th. Top Rank president Todd Duboff and myself had a couple of meetings with PBC and tried to put together the fight with Tank. Carl Moretti, Top Rank's vice president of boxing operations, told Uncrowned, "We agreed on a lot of stuff and it wasn't an issue at all, as far as what we were doing and how we were moving forward. What we didn't have yet, and what we came to find out, was that Loma wasn't in the country, and we hadn't had those discussions with him. We had just spoken to his manager briefly, but up to that point, everything was all systems go. But when Loma did get back into the country, he decided he didn't want to fight at this point and needed to take the rest of the year off. He wasn't going to decide what he was going to do until sometime in the beginning of the year 2025. He wasn't going to fight Tank or anyone else in November or for the remainder of this year." Lomachenko last fought May 12th when he dominated former unified lightweight champ George Kambosos Jr. at Pac Arena in Perth, Australia. The three-weight world champion dropped Sydney's Kambosos twice in the 11th round before their scheduled 12-round, 135-pound championship match was stopped.
Can you tell us a little bit about the history between them two?
Oh man, they've been knowing each other from the amateurs, silver gloves, everything. They grew up to actually.
Lomachenko, a two-time Olympic gold medalist, regained the then vacant IBF lightweight title by battering Kambosos in impressive fashion. Lomachenko is 36, however, and although he has only 21 professional fights on his record, he competed in almost 400 amateur bouts and might not have the desire to keep up with the physical demands of this grueling sport. The ongoing war with Russia in his native Ukraine, where he still resides at least part-time, has also taken an emotional toll on Lomachenko as well. Davis, meanwhile, has agreed to box WBA super featherweight champ Lamont Roach next. Roach of Upper Marlboro, Maryland, moves up from the 130-pound division to the 135-pound limit to challenge one of boxing's most entertaining knockout artists. Their fight was initially scheduled to take place December 14th at Toyota Center in Houston. It has been pushed back, but the new date for their pay-per-view main event early in 2025 hasn't been solidified. Davis, who turns 30 on November 7th, confirmed through his X account Tuesday that he will still face Roach next. Uncrowned confirmed that their bout still will be held at Toyota Center, the home arena of the NBA's Houston Rockets, primarily because that's where Davis wants to headline when he returns to the ring.
I feel good, man. You know, same old, same old.
Lamont and Tank have history. What can you tell us about their history and how that's going to play into the fight come fight night?
Contrary to posted reports, Davis Roach will still headline its own pay-per-view show early next year, rather than packaging it with PBC's highly anticipated light heavyweight battle between David Benavidez and David Morrell Jr. Phoenix's Benavidez and the Cuban-born Minneapolis-based Morrell are expected to square off in a PBC Prime Video pay-per-view main event January 25th in Las Vegas. Benavidez's previous fight, a 12-round unanimous decision win over former WBC light heavyweight champ Alexander Gvozdyk, was the co-feature before Davis's most recent win June 15th at MGM Grand Garden Arena. Davis knocked out Frank Martin, a southpaw from Detroit, in the 8th round of their PBC Prime Video pay-per-view main event that night. Davis's handlers looked into the possibility of a fight with Jose Valenzuela next, after Valenzuela upset Mexican mauler Isaac Cruz in his most recent appearance, August 3rd at BMO Stadium in Los Angeles. Cruz previously tested Tank and ended Davis's 16-fight knockout streak in December 2021, but still lost a closely contested unanimous decision at Staples Center in Los Angeles. The Mexican-born Valenzuela of Renton, Washington, defeated Mexico City's Cruz by split decision in their 12-round fight for Cruz's WBA super lightweight title on the Terence Crawford Israel Madrimov undercard.
They got amateurs. They fought maybe 2 or 3 times. Tank being the winner. They sparred a few times. Tank got the best of the sparring. They just bigger and stronger now, you know? Older.
Valenzuela could still squeeze down to the lightweight limit of 135 pounds for the opportunity to face Davis, but he wasn't interested in taking that fight next. It isn't clear if Davis-Lomachenko negotiations will resume if Lomachenko opts to continue his career in 2025. Actually, the boxing world is usually on pins and needles while waiting to see what Gervonta Davis will do next. But this time around, fans were very let down when Tank was announced to be fighting against Lamont Roach in December. Roach is a fine fighter, but he isn't a high-profile name and doesn't have many big wins. People want Tank to fight the likes of Shakur Stevenson, or Vasily Lomachenko, or even Devin Haney. Of course, figuring out the details to make a mega fight like that happen is never easy.
Your mind, what did you say to yourself? You had to say something to yourself when you seen the card.
I mean, I probably thought about, the fact that...
But there's a growing sentiment among a lot of fans that Davis is kind of cruising at the moment, opting to not take too many risks. When called out on that by a user on social media, Davis had to stick up for himself. Davis agreed with his fan, taking subtle shots at some fighters who have fought his scraps, like Rolly Romero, who fought Cruz after Tank beat him.
Can you tell us a little bit about the history between them two?
Oh man, they've been knowing each other from the amateurs, silver gloves, everything. They grew up actually together, you know. Roach and him, back and forth battles and whatnot. It's gonna be a pretty interesting fight, you know what I'm saying? Because Roach.
Devin Haney, who fought Garcia after Davis dominated him. Davis has fought plenty of great fighters and he knows it. Despite the war of words, fans and analysts have questioned Davis's choice of opponent.
Always, he come to fight. And I think it's a great fight. Everybody talking all that stuff about, why Roach? Because he signed and took the fight, you know what I'm saying? And it's good for the community.
Now, do you feel like there's unfair criticism because of Lamont Roach?
In principle, despite being the World Boxing Association super featherweight champion, Roach has not shown great punching power, something vital to face a knockout artist like Tank. Another point against him is that Roach will have to gain 9 pounds from his natural weight to face this fight. What's even more interesting about their matchup is that Gervonta Davis is fighting a familiar foe next. The American boxer has decided to run it back against Lamont Roach, a fighter whom he crossed paths with twice in their amateur careers.
Not being as known of a fighter.
People going to do that. That's what fan does. You know what I'm saying? They're going to give up bad criticism. I remember when I was saying everybody should let Pitbull fight Tank again. And they was talking about that. Then when he won that belt,
It seems they have unfinished business, which the challenger might like to put an end to. Notably, Roach, 29, and Davis, 29, fought twice in their amateur careers at bigger stages. The first one came at the Regional Junior Olympics. The second one was at the National Championships.
Hey, we're Coach Kenny Ellis.
What's up?
How you doing, Coach?
I'm good, man. Taking it day by day.
Yes, sir. Boxing World got a big announcement this week. We're going to get the face of boxing, Gervonta Tank Davis versus Lamont Roach, December 14th in Houston, Texas. How you feeling about this fight?
Therefore, they have been familiar with each other and know every trick under each other's sleeve. However, according to Roach, at January 1st, 25, he should have been one up at least in their 2 clashes. The Reaper talked about his past fight with Davis at 30-0 when he appeared in an interview with Broadway Joel some time back. When touching on his initial career and fighting Tank, he declared, "I fought Gervonta Davis twice in the amateurs. I lost both times. The first one was a little fishy. No, they both are on YouTube. You can go watch them."
I feel good, man. Same old, same old.
Lamont and Tank have history. What can you tell us about their history and how that's gonna play into the fight? Come fight next.
They got amateur history. They fought maybe 2 or 3 times.
Lamont Roach continued, I fought Gervonta Davis twice, in the amateurs. I lost both times, but the first one was a little robbery. They are on YouTube, you can go watch them. First one was in Baltimore, his hometown. Second was in the Nationals. He beat me in the championship, so he won gold. The host then chimed in and pointed out, the first looks a little fishier than the second one? To this, Roach nodded in affirmation and then detailed that the first one came in Baltimore, Davis's hometown, and after the USA Boxing went through the tape, they offered him a slot at Nationals. He continued, the first one, I fought him, was in Baltimore in the Regional Junior Olympics. My dad sent the tape to USA Boxing.
Tank being the winner, they sparred a few times. Tank got the best of the sparring. They just bigger and stronger now, you know? Older.
Now, it's some word out there that Lamont say, you know, he got some film that don't make Tank look too good.
But, as fate would have it, both Roach and Davis made it to the finals and had their second meeting, and the result remained the same. Roach added, they were like, we are going to give you a grant to go to Nationals. We both made it to Nationals. We made it to the championship. We fought for the championship. He beat me in the championship, so he won gold, and I won silver that year. And that's all for now. For the very best updates on news, moments, events, and actions in the world of boxing, stay connected with us by subscribing to our YouTube channel, and don't forget to turn on notifications to get notified when we drop quality contents like this. Until next time, peace out.